everybody. Today we are going to keep talking about shapes, but today we are going to give them names. Let's take a look at this shape. Do you know the name of this shape? Yes, it is a triangle, and its name, triangle, actually tells us something about the shape. Listen carefully. Tri means 3, and angle tells us that it has corners. So when we say triangle, we're saying that it has 3 angles or 3 corners.
Wow!
So this is a triangle, this is a triangle, and this is a triangle. They're all triangles because they have 3 corners and 3 sides. Ooh, this other shape has lots of corners and lots of sides. How many sides does it have, or how many corners does it have? Should we count? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 corners and it has 6 sides. So it's called a hexagon. Hexa means 6. So it's a hexagon. Let's look at this other shape. How many corners and how many sides does this shape have? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 corners and 5 sides. So its name is a pentagon. Penta means 5. Let's look at this other shape. This shape you know. It has only one side and it's made out of a curvy line. Yes, it's a circle. This shape is a rectangle. A rectangle is a shape with 4 square corners or 4 right angles. Square corner? What does that mean? How can I tell if it's a square corner? Well, it's when one line is perfectly flat and the other one is perfectly straight. And when they meet each other, they make a little corner that is like a perfect L, just like this one.
Wow.
A rectangle has 4 corners and 4 sides. They usually have 2 long sides and 2 shorter sides. And this other shape is a square. And actually, do you want to know a secret? A square is a type of rectangle. It's a special rectangle. The difference is, in a square, all the sides are the same size. So it's a very special kind of rectangle. It also has 4 corners. A rhombus is a shape that also has 4 straight sides and 4 corners, but it doesn't have square corners. A trapezoid is another shape that also has 4 straight sides and 4 corners. How is this trapezoid different from other shapes? Well, all the sides are not the same length. They're not the same size. So, we call all of these 2D shapes. Now, why do I tell you that these are 2D shapes? Because today we're talking about 2D shapes, and we're also going to be talking about 3D shapes. But wait a minute, what does 2D and 3D mean? 2D stands for 2-dimensional, and 3D stands for 3-dimensional. A good example is the cartoons that we already know. Take a look at Snow White. When we look at this first drawing of Snow White, it's a 2D drawing. It's a drawing, all right, but look at this one. This one is a more modern drawing of Snow White. It kind of reminds you of movies that we watch like Toy Story or Shrek. It looks like you could actually reach in and touch the character. It has depth. It looks solid. In 2D, shapes look flat. In 3D, shapes look like they have a body. Let's look at other cartoons. Let's take a look at this one. Can you figure out which one is 2D and 3D? How about this one? Which one is 2D and which one is 3D? How about this other one over here? Can you tell which one is 2D and 3D? When you think about 2D and 3D shapes, it's almost like a 3D shape got run over by a big roller, kind of like what happened to Platt Stanley.
Hey, come look! Arthur Lambchop called from the bedroom he shared with his brother Stanley. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop cared greatly for politeness and correct speech. Hay is for horses, Arthur, not people. said Mrs. Lambchop. But look, said Arthur, pointing. Across Stanley's bed lay the enormous bulletin board. It had fallen on Stanley during the night. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop hurried to lift it from the bed. But Stanley wasn't hurt. What's going on here? He said cheerfully, sitting up. Oh, heavens! Cried Mrs. Lambchop. Gosh, said Arthur. Stanley's flat. As a pancake, said Mr. Lambchop. Darndest thing I've ever seen. Mrs. Lambchop sighed and said, let's all have breakfast. Then we'll hear what Dr. Dan has to say. In his office, Dr. Dan examined Stanley. How do you feel? He asked. I felt sort of tickly after I got up, Stanley said, but I feel fine now. Well, that's mostly how it is in these cases, said Dr. Dan. The nurses took Stanley's measurements. He was 4 feet tall, about a foot wide, and half an inch thick. Being flat could be fun. Stanley enjoyed going in and out of rooms by sliding through the crack at the bottom of the door. Arthur tried too, but he just banged his head.
So now let's talk about 3D shapes. I can't talk about 3D shapes without actually showing you the 3D shapes. So here we go. This is a sphere. A sphere is a round shape, and you see, unlike 2D shapes, these have depth. I can hold on to these. They have a body that I can hold on to. And a sphere is a shape that is the same size all around, and it has a face that goes all around. That is something about our shapes. When we talk about 3D shapes, we don't talk about sides. We talk about faces. Wow. So this is a sphere. This is a sphere. I'm sorry it's dirty. It's my dog's toy. So this is a sphere. You see, it's the same size all around, and it goes round and round. A tennis ball, again, dog toy, would also be a sphere. It's the same size all around, and it goes round and round and round, and it has one face that goes all around. Is an egg or a chicken egg a sphere? No, because it's round and it has one face that goes all around, but it's longer over here and it's shorter on this side. Maybe a turtle egg would be a sphere because those are perfectly round, like a ping pong ball or a beach ball or a football or any of those balls that you might have at home, but not an egg. So another shape is a cylinder. This is a cylinder. It has a circle-shaped face at the top, a flat circle-shaped face, a flat circle-shaped face on the bottom, and they're both the same size, and then one face that goes round and round and all around, and this side is straight because both of these are the same size. This is a cylinder. This is a cylinder. You see, this is a tuna can, but wait a minute. This is longer and this is shorter. Still a cylinder. It has a circle-shaped face at the top, circle-shaped face at the bottom, and they're the same size. And then they have one face that goes round and around, and this is straight. So it can be a flat cylinder or a tall cylinder or a medium-sized cylinder, but they are all cylinders. Another shape is a cone. And you might remember these because when it's summer, many of us eat ice cream cones. So a cone is a shape that has a flat circle face on the bottom, a pointy corner, a pointy end at the top, and one face that goes round and round on the side. This is a cone. This carrot could be a cone if it were a perfect carrot, but it's kind of crooked, so. But anyway, let's pretend it's a perfect cone. It has a pointy bottom and a flat circle-shaped face at the top, and then a kind of straight face that goes all around. Or I could pretend it's summer and pretend that this is an ice cream cone. Or on Halloween, I could wear my witch's hat, and although this is a droopy hat, and my hat has a cone-shaped tip, kind of. So another example of a cone. Another shape is a cube. And a cube has square faces. Now, how many faces does a cube have? I'll give you a hint. These little dices are cubes. And how many numbers does a dice have? 6. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 numbers and it has 6 faces. So all cubes always have 6 faces. All faces are the same size and they are all squares, and they all have square corners. So it doesn't matter if it's a little cube or a big cube like this one. Let's count the faces. 1, 2, has one at the bottom, one at the top, one in the front, 3, one in the back, 4, one on the left side, and one on the right side. Okay, so 6 sides. And this is a rectangular prism. It's kind of like a cube, but the difference is its sides are rectangles. So it also has 6 faces. Let's see, one at the top, one at the bottom, one on this side, one on this side, one at the front, and one at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the sides are rectangles. So it's a rectangular prism. And the corners are straight corners. In a rectangular prism, the 2 faces that go on the top and the bottom are the same size. The 2 faces that are in the front and in the back are the same size. And the faces that are on this side and on this side are the same size. So this is a rectangular prism. This is a much bigger, but still a rectangular prism. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even this long, skinny one is a rectangular prism. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are all the 3D shapes we are going to be talking about. And now what you are going to do is... This is the math activity for today. You are going to go around your house and you're going to find 2D shapes and 3D shapes. And you're going to take pictures of them and you're going to tell us which shapes you found. Is it a rectangular prism? Is it a cone? Is it a cylinder? Is it a circle? A square? Is it a rhombus? Let us know.